There's some formulaic, some transactional things in the firm that I needed to know, but quite sort of boring operational side of things. But he'd always finish the call by saying, this role is about common sense. You always try and do the right thing. I know you've got really strong values around that, but just use your common sense. You're not always going to get it right, but that's okay. And you've got people around you who will tell you when you've not got it right, and you will learn from that. But don't worry about making a mistake. Make a decision, and take counsel from the people around you. Everyone's here to do the same thing that you are. We all want the same thing. On the first day, though, when I stopped being a private client partner, so I'd handed over all my clients, so I had nothing to do now. And on the 1st of August, the official day, 1st of August 2020, and I remember it vividly, I was sat in my living room because we still couldn't go into the office at that point. And that was my official day when the email signature changed as CEO. And I looked at it and went, what do I do? What do I do now? I sat there for probably half an hour. I didn't have any clients anymore. No one would call me anymore from the private client team to say, can you help me with a tax question? But what is a CEO do? No one's told me any of this. Scrambling around looking for Nilesh's number, saying, what is it that I do now? And I had a big identity crisis on that first day about who and what I am now, because I'm no longer that private client partner anymore. The reason that I think I get asked to go on the TV and the radio as well, people say, my friends say I've got a face for radio. Do I get nervous? Yeah, I do. My heart goes a little bit, even just before today, even now. I'm fine now because I'm into the rhythm, but even just before we started, I get a little bit nervous because the cameras are on. And Jeff's seen me be woeful at this before, and Jeff's been a big part actually of helping me prep for going on TV as well. So normally, and I'm not going to maybe do it now, but I'd have to stand up. So before I went on the BBC a few weeks ago, and I only had about half an hour's notice before I was going to go on the BBC. I'd take 5 minutes, put myself in what was Jim's office, and just had to shake my hands, pat myself on the back like this, because this was a technique that one of Jeff's colleagues who did a bit of media training for us told us to do, and just shake yourself down and take a deep breath. And so whoever watched me through the window whilst I was preparing for that BBC interview thought, what the hell is going on at Blick Rothenberg? And hopefully the BBC camera wasn't rolling as well whilst I was doing that jiggery pokery. So yeah, I do get nervous, but I owe a lot. I tell you what, I owe a huge amount to David Barsley, and I'm not just saying that, but before I joined Blick Rothenberg, I was never allowed at my old firm, never allowed to say anything to the press. It was just one of this taboo subjects that other people in my old firm dealt with, and that was absolutely fine. It was just not a part of my role. But David, in my first week, I didn't really know what David did. He was this sort of old eccentric bloke that liked cars, that was tucked away in the basement actually of our old office, so he didn't really go down there too much. But David used to literally drag me by the collar and say, right, I need you to give me this story right now. And again, he would butcher it to death. And he said, no, this is what we need to say. I want your opinion, Nimesh, because that's what they want to hear. You know about your subject matter. I'll tell you a little bit of a story, and I sort of fluffed this question. Now that I know that you did ask my wife, Danielle, about today, and I'm going to have a go at her to say that she didn't know about this. That you asked me before about sort of one of my proudest moments at Blick Rothenberg. And for those of you who don't know, I did meet my wife, Danielle, at Blick Rothenberg, and she was head of marketing at Blick Rothenberg. And I think I'd just made partner. People would ask me about business development and marketing, and she asked me as well. She said, well, what do you think of marketing? And I said to her, I don't really do marketing. I'm a geek. I'm a technical tax geek. That's what I enjoy doing. Isn't marketing just sort of colouring in? And she still married me. And she, even now I know, she crossed her arms and went, God, who is this git? But she actually plugged away and worked with me a lot, and I've learned a lot about marketing and brand. So I'm here talking about brand from a person 6-7 years ago who thought marketing was colouring in. And so I said before, I've changed so much as a person. I've learned so much. I have to remind myself, John, as well, that I'm not a private client partner anymore, that's not my role, because it's really easy to slip back, like that day in August 2020 where I just had to go back to my comfort zone for just a couple of hours. And I have to be disciplined around that because my responsibilities are to the whole firm, and I can't be going back to the thing that I really, really love as well. I think I know more now that I love how much I love it now, and how much I love working with the people, sharing sort of my knowledge about tax and dealing with private clients and talking to clients as well and making a real difference to clients. But the role that I do now, I look genuinely really enjoying it. But there's never a day that goes by where I think, oh, I just want to retreat back into being private client. I really know that I've got a responsibility and a role here, and I've got a job to do. And as I keep saying, I owe it to everyone in the room and in the offices to do that role to the best of my ability.